Welcome today to those who love to sing but are frustrated with the way that their voice is performing. Today, I want to talk to you about just one of the myths that you have been told about your singing voice that you've been believing, and it has been holding you back. And by the time we're finished, you're going to know an alternative way to approach your singing and how that is going to help you become a better singer, a better instrumentalist, a better musician, and a better performer overall. So, the one thing that is maybe the biggest myth that is pushed out across choir directors and singers and voice coaches and teachers all over the country, if not the world, is the phrase sing from your diaphragm. How many of you put a little note in the chat if you have heard this phrase and you've if you've heard the phrase, then feel free to put in another note if you've heard the phrase and it's confusing. Well, between that, singing from your diaphragm, and using this next term, using breath support, it is one of the most confusing phrases, two of the most confusing phrases, two of the most confusing commands that you can encounter in singing. And so, why is that? What is wrong with saying sing from your diaphragm? What is wrong with saying just use breath support? The word just, first of all, implies that it's easy and you should already know how to do it. But the word support is vague. It's not clear. It doesn't tell you what to do, it just tells you that something needs to be happening. So, on top of that, you've got the diaphragm issue. So first I flip-flopped them a little bit, but we talked about breath support and then we're talking about the diaphragm. Why am I telling you that this is a thought you need to get out of your head, a process you need to stop focusing or worrying about? Well, first of all, the diaphragm has nothing to do with singing. Now, some of you are like, whoa, hold the phone, stop right there. Of course, it has something to do with singing because it's part of breathing. Yes, it is part of breathing. The diaphragm is a relatively large muscle when it comes to the breathing process. What the diaphragm does is when you inhale, it's in this dome shape and it helps open up the lungs, helps you take in air. But if you've ever tried to swallow and sing at the same time, you understand that singing happens when the air is going out. The diaphragm is actually completely relaxed and not engaged when you are singing. So you cannot sing from your diaphragm. Okay, pretend even if it was engaged when you were singing, you cannot consciously feel it, as in controlling it. You can't think, okay, I'm going to move my diaphragm. You can think I'm going to breathe in, but you can't control the diaphragm. It's kind of like raising your one eyebrow. I don't do it very well. Oh, there, I think I got it. Yeah, I have to really think. You could never, stupid human tricks. You could never do that with your diaphragm. You could never train it to just work in the way that you want it to. The other part about the diaphragm, you can't control it with your brain. You also can't touch it with you can put I'm putting my hands, you can put your hands down here around your rib cage, the top part of your abdomen. You could do that all day long and you're never actually going to touch the diaphragm because it's tucked up so far underneath the ribs, it's not accessible. So stop being frustrated. Stop thinking of support and breathing and trying to understand singing with your diaphragm, because you're going to go insane. It's simply not possible. All right, so now I've blown your world, right? I've told you that what you've heard since you were, I don't know, in middle school, maybe even in elementary school, since you were told, sing from your diaphragm, sing from your diaphragm. Now I'm telling you you can't do that. So what should you do instead? Again, I'm going back to the fact that when you are singing, it's happening on the exhale. So the air is flowing up through your body, up through the vocal folds, which are right in here, making them vibrate and creating sound. They're doing the exact same thing when you're talking. Any sound that you make is happening because air is flowing through the vocal folds. So if you want to be able to control your sound at all, think about using the abdominal area to control the exhale, to control the airflow. The abs are the biggest muscles that we can actually feel with our fingers. We can actually control with our brain. I can think about tensing my abs and relaxing and tensing and relaxing, and they actually respond. You can lay on the ground, do a couple of crunchers or sit-ups, and you can put your hands on your stomach and feel the abs tensing and relaxing. So now you have an idea of muscles that you can actually control, and you can actually know intrinsically if they're working or not. That's where you want to focus when it comes to singing, when it comes to the exhale. You want to know that your abdominal muscles are engaged. And when they are engaged, when they are slightly tensed, when they are helping to move the air out, they have more power than any of these other muscles that you could feel. And you can keep the airflow nice and steady. And that is going to increase your ability to create a pitch that is consistent, a pitch that is in tune. And on top of it, you're also going to relieve pressure from your throat so that it no longer has to try to compensate for airflow moving and not moving and moving and not moving. You're taking the power, the need for power from here, and you're putting it down in these abdominal muscles and a few other intercostals and whatnot. But those are, we're not talking about those, not because they don't take part, but because you can't perceive them as much. When you can start to control the muscles that are controlling the exhale, now you've given yourself control over your pitch, over your tone, over the length of your phrase, and you've given yourself the ability to relax a bit in here, which in turn gives you a better tone, a less stressed tone. It gives you more freedom to control the pitch. So, just a little bit of a recap here. You cannot sing from your diaphragm. Number one, because it's not engaged, it's not taking part in the singing process. Number two, you can't sing from your diaphragm because you can't mentally control your diaphragm. Number three, giving support, having support, breath support is not giving you enough information to be able to change your singing. What you want to think about instead of these two myths is my abdomen engaged? Are my abdominal muscles helping with my exhale? Are they keeping the melody nice and smooth when necessary? And if this is the case, then you're going to start to have so much more control over your pitch, over your tone, over your phrasing. Tension is going to start to release up here, which will also give you better agility. You can hit notes quicker. You can start to really work the riffs and runs with freedom. And the overall physicality and efficiency of singing is going to be so much better. Singing will not be easy at first as you enter into all these techniques because you're going to be using so much brain power to retrain your body. But the physical part of singing, especially the forcefulness, is going to fall away, and you're going to get so much more freedom and clarity and control over your voice. Now, if you at all are excited about this, if this is revolutionary for you, if I have burst a few bubbles, make a note in the comments. And if you want to learn more, please get signed up for my free masterclass. The link is in the description or in my bio, depending on where you're watching. And you can join us at very shortly to learn more about how you can get more clarity, more freedom in just 4 for joining me today. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time so we can continue to dissect and dive in a little bit more to singing freedom. So have a great afternoon, guys.